The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Discretion is advised.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 80, number 80 of Rare Form Radio. Thank you. Coming to you live from, let's see, Phil Spector's Wall of Sound. That's where we're coming to you live from tonight. Honoring the passing of a very talented murderer, Mr. Phil Spector. Pretty good. How are you doing, Mr. Wendell Isaacs?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having me on this month. It's been a blast.
It kind of has, hasn't it? Yeah, it has been nice.
It's been fun.
This is the last episode for you for the time being, and it's flown by, and I want to thank you very much for doing this. It's been, it feels like we're just hanging out, but it's good to have you on here. People are enjoying you. I've gotten 2 messages talking about how handsome you are. So that's cool.
There's April and then another one. Then somebody else misguided.
Your mom, which is weird. It's weird that your mom's the other one.
My mom out of it.
So you texted a little while ago, and we usually record around like 8 p.m. And you're like, hey, do you mind doing it at like 7:30 tonight? I was like, sure. Yeah, no problem. And we're just getting started. And please tell the audience why you want to rush out of here tonight.
It's not super interesting, but I got a PS5. I finally got a PS5, and so I want to play. And so, I'm a married man, so I have to negotiate my game time for. It's a conversation with the what. It's not always a conversation. I just normally wait till she crashes because she crashes. She bless her. I have trouble sleeping. Like, it takes me a while to get to sleep. I wake up in the middle of the night. I get up early. I just don't sleep that super great. Yeah, it's not great. But she sleeps like, oh my God, the drop of a hat. Or when we're watching something like really good, it's just, we've been trying to make it through the Umbrella Academy the past few nights. And we're on episode 2, and she's crashed during both episodes. And so it's taken 4 nights. And I'm like, but I love her.
4 nights for 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Cool.
She crashed midway through episode 1, and then we had to do it the next night. Anyway, so tonight I wanted to get like a head start because I want to have plenty of game time. So I had the negotiation, and so then talked to my buddy Dan. I'm like, can I just move it up a little bit? I need to.
And listen, you're doing me a favor this month. It's been great to have you, so I'm happy to accommodate. But then I found out like why you want to do this early, and now I'm angry and jealous. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, don't be too jealous because there's really it's way too early to get it, to be honest. There's just nothing. There's like Miles Morales. There's Godfall, which
is that the Spider-Man game? Is the Miles game?
That's the Spider-Man game. They're just they launched with A, hardly any games, and B, clearly hardly any fucking consoles, because I spent almost 2 months on Twitter putting on notifications, and it's like, oh, there's a drop on Best Buy, there's a drop at Target, and they're just gone. And it's like, you knew for 7 years that 5 comes after 4. PlayStation 4, there will be a PlayStation 5. I understand the business tactics of having scarcity of demand, or scarcity and implied demand, and people talking about it. And, I'm in line, and all that kind of mentality. But at this point, fucking Sony, just make more of the thing. You make the thing, make more of it. And they're not. Yeah. So I went to eBay and I got one. I paid too much and got it on eBay.
Okay. So like maybe a month or so ago, I think it was like that. You worked kind of some back alley deal with some guy, I think from Twitter, for PS5.
And I got scammed.
You're talking to me and you're like,
brilliant.
Did you lose money? Did he get you?
Yeah, it was a scam. Yeah, I totally got scammed.
Fucking A.
And I like to consider myself, or I like to tell myself that I'm too smart for that, but I was so excited. I'm like, I wanted any positive reinforcement, like, oh, maybe this guy's not a scammer. So there was basically 500 reasons why it was a bad idea, and there was about 2 reasons that it was a good idea. And I decided to weight the 2 reasons as if they were like 501 good reasons. But no, I got dicked. Yeah, I got dicked.
How much did you lose on that fucker?
$500.
He got you for $500?
Yep. Yeah.
So did you pay in like Bitcoin or some shit? Was it like that kind of deal? Or did he wanted you to pay like PayPal or Venmo and then?
Yeah, no, it was online. It was Zelle.
Oh,
it was Zelle.
Fuck, dude. Did you report him on all that?
Like when I told you, I said, hey, I'm trying to get one on Twitter. It's most probably a scam. At that point, I thought there was like I thought there was about a 50% chance that it was going to work out. But I had that kind of like rabid new toy, like I'm going to get the thing. I'm going to get the thing. It's completely irrational.
I get it.
And I told myself, I'm like, when I hit send, I'm like, my only deal with myself is I got to try to not be butthurt and pissed off if this is a scam. Cause I know it as I'm clicking the enter button that there's a really strong possibility. So when it went down, I was like, I was pissed off for about 2.5 hours. I was really fucking angry. And then I was like, dude, you fucking failed.
It's kind of like doing a deal like that. Failure. You know how you're always told, like, if you loan money to friends or family, assume it's gone. Just like if you loan money to your family, just assume you're never going to get it. If you get it back, be stoked. Doing a deal with someone who you don't know online is kind of the same. So when you hit send, assume you're not going to see a PS5 and like, it sucks. It still sucks. Okay. Yeah. So the one you got just now, what does it retail for? Do you get the 300 or the 500 one, or what is it?
I got the digital one. So without a disc drive. So it's 400. So it's $399.
Okay. So, and what did you pay for this one?
Well, I don't need to go into all kinds of detail.
No,
but
I want to know. I want to know
much. Okay. Well, okay. Here's the detail. I work at. I'm a creative director, right? Yep. So I work at a company called Liquid and Arcade, and we do games marketing. So we like worked on Cyberpunk and all these other kind of like AAA games, and I really like it there. And they're doing this really awesome thing this weekend. And they normally take their employees out on a vacation every year. Like they take them on a full, like to Mexico.
How great is that?
Like, I know, it's amazing. And I'm like, blows my mind. So anyway, to kind of compensate this year for not being able to take anybody anywhere, they gave everybody a little chunk of money and they said, spend it this weekend and you just have to document it and send pictures. If you want to go to Vegas and put it all on red, do it. But you need to take pictures of you doing it. And we want everybody to share in using the money in whatever way you want, So I was like, wow, I got this little chunk of money. It was a few $100 and I found one on eBay and I'm like, this almost makes me feel less like an idiot for getting scammed by that other dude because this magical freebie kind of came in and it kind of canceled it out.
Okay. So I'm assuming the grand total of your purchase is around like $1,000 for a PS5 ish.
It was $875 with the headset and with the charger.
Okay. Charger. Oh, charger for what?
There's like a little goofy ass. It's as ugly as the main PlayStation. It's a little thing and you can slot 2 controllers in and they charge all the time. Got it, you don't have to like in the dark. For me, it would be like in the dark trying to like make a USB thing fit and like waking up my wife, playing games as an over 50-year-old man. It's a whole thing.
Oh, I'm there. I spent most of the day today playing Days Gone. I've been playing it for weeks now. Nice. You mentioned Cyberpunk a minute ago. And in this whole month, we haven't discussed the train wreck dumpster fire that is Cyberpunk.
I know.
So for people who aren't into games, we're not gonna go into crazy detail, but Cyberpunk 2000, what's it called?
2077.
2077. So it's this post-apocalyptic kind of future robot people kind of sci-fi game that people that are into games have been looking forward to for
years.
2 or 3 years for me is when it first kind of came up on my radar. And when you're into games, the companies like will leak out a little bit of gameplay footage or a trailer. And obviously like same with movies. It's like, commercials and trailers and you're like, I can't wait. This game looked so incredible.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves is he like the main character in it or something? Or he's
a side character.
Okay.
He's basically he's a dead guy who haunts you. And so you keep seeing him over and over again.
Okay. So the game looks amazing. It's as anticipated as any like Grand Theft Auto game or Red Dead Redemption or whatever. And this company has been working on the game for, I think, 10 years.
They say 8 years. And then an article came out this week saying that they actually had only really been working on it since 2016. Hot take.
Oh,
spoiler.
shit.
So we don't know. But
okay.
but the news cycle is they've been working on it for a really long time.
It's kind of like Pixar movies.
Huge.
You know, Pixar movies, they take forever to make.
Forever.
Video games, it takes so many years.
Yeah.
So they dropped this game, and people like Steve bought it for me as a gift for, I think, for my birthday or some kind of gift. Very, very kind. And like 2 days after you gave it to me, the shit hit the fan. So explain what happened, because you played it for a minute. I haven't even opened it yet.
Yeah, that's actually what I'm going to do after this call, because I hear it plays great, or it plays like it should on PS5 and on PC.
Oh shit.
The problem is last gen consoles. So everybody, so the game came out, and it's I can't think of a worse launch. I guess there have been some other worse launches, not that I was aware of, because this was when you put Keanu Reeves in it. Once he showed up and he was like actually in the game, it just got this, a lot of anticipation, a lot of news spread, and people were really excited for it. But
he's huge again.
When
it's
it
like
came
McConaughey
out,
6-7 years ago. Keanu's kind of the new guy.
The Keanu-sence. Yeah, totally. And in that time when he was in the game, he kind of he's had this John Wick rebirth, where he's just like, one of the biggest action names in the world. Anyway, the point is, I played the game and it was buggy, but I wasn't like crying about it. There's stuff like you go out on a heist and your best friend, the guy who you're like talking to and who's leading you through this stuff, like look over and he's like gone. But there was like really bad bugs. Like apparently there'll be like a guy in a wheelchair and he'll stand up and start running, and you're driving a car and it goes through the street, and then all of a sudden you're in some kind of digital pixel nowhere land, like some really bad fatal bugs. And it crashed on me a couple times. The PlayStation couldn't deal with it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to like press pause on this until I get a new system, and then I'll try, which is tonight. I'm going to start from scratch with the new system and see how it goes. But it's been such a bloodbath for them. Like this weekend, the head of the whole company did like this really sad direct to camera video, and he's like, I just want everyone to know how deeply and painfully sorry we are for what a complete failure this launch has been. Like this really sad apology video. And they're talking about how they're going to have patches, it's going to be fixed, and just hang in there. It's almost impossible to make a game that complex work on old systems, just because of the way how much data can be pushed through the pipe and all this shit. But it has been a really bad.
I mean, it was pulled from digital stores. So like when you have a PlayStation or an Xbox, you can purchase the game like online. So you'll download it like you stream iTunes movies or some shit. It was pulled from that. And everyone that purchased this game, this company made millions and millions and millions of dollars on the sales of this game, and they were all refunded. Like,
yeah,
take your money back, keep the game. When it's fixed, you can still play it, but we're giving you your money back. So imagine
anything like that.
Imagine it's not a whole lot different than like, imagine the new Star Wars comes out. You've been waiting years for the new Star Wars, and then after 2 days, theaters pull it because it's terrible.
It's what should have had with the Phantom Menace. It should have been like George Lucas is like, I'm sorry, that didn't work, and everybody gets their money back because universally I fucking failed. But yeah,
and please elaborate more on the cocks in the game. That's the best part. That's the best glitch of the whole game.
Oh yeah. So, with a lot of games, you make your own character, right? That's a standard thing. What kind of shirt do you want to wear? What kind of tattoo do you want on your neck? Whatever the hell. So Cyberpunk, and I'd never seen this in a game. I guess maybe there are other games that do this, but it's the first thing you do. You sit down and you're hearing all the like, and you're like, ooh, look at this interface. I'm gonna give myself a fucking like a, like some weird full sleeve on this side. And then you get down, it moves down your body, and then you can pick your cock, and you're just naked. And you sit there and you go like, do I want small? Do I want medium? Or do I want large? You can't pick cut or uncut.
Okay.
And you can't have any like jewelry in the dick, but you can pick your dick, which is so I just don't recall. So that's not the end of it. That's intended But apparently on launch week, one of the bugs that people were making memes and funny videos about is that for whatever reason, your cock would pop out of your clothes and your character would be running around with your dong hanging out.
And it like flops and shit. Like it's like a real cock. So the bigger it gets, the more it like swings and
natural gravity dong.
It's amazing. And that's what I was looking forward to most is the cock aspect of the game. And you can do shit in the game. Like you can have big tits and a tiny dick if you want. You can mix and match all your genders and everything.
That's right.
Everyone can be trans in this game, and you're also a robot. I mean, this
is what we're doing with technology. This is what
amazing.
We're doing.
Amazing. Can you choose like the thickness? Can you put veins on it? Or
just small, medium, large? And it doesn't like close up or anything. You just. Okay. It's so weird seeing your character though. All of a sudden, it's just you're naked, and you're like, "Why am I naked all of a sudden?" It's because now you have to pick your dick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And if you make a woman, can you pick different vaginas?
I don't know, actually. I only picked one guy. It was my first playthrough. I played up to the Keanu Reeves introduction.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to wait because it turns into such a bloodbath, but I'm going to start again tonight.
Obviously, I mean, I don't know what guy wouldn't choose the biggest dick. Who picks the small dick for your character? But if I was
I picked medium. I picked medium.
You did?
Yeah, I wanted to be authentic, I was like wanted to.
Okay, but like you're
seems
able
like
to
that's the easy choice, pick the big dick. Come on, no, I wanted to,
Yeah, dude. Of course you picked. Of course. I want 2 big dicks on my character. That's what I want. If I were making a chick, I'd want like the extra lippy vagina, the super lippy, the Arby's, like the.
Oh man!
Like where's the whole fold this over? Where's the chew bubble gum? That's what I want.
I would see if they would let you have like a rotate function, so you could have like a sideways vagina.
That's
just
good.
blow minds.
Yeah, and it could smile. Right. It's like a Cheshire cat vagina right on the belly. Yeah, let's wrap up the show. We're done. We're done tonight. Thank you everybody for listening. You were talking about scams a minute ago too. Have you gotten these emails that the scams of I have control of your computer. You've been watching a lot of pornographic material with
I got one of those,
underage girls, and we have video of you masturbating. So
right. I got one of those one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got 2. I got one recently, and it mentioned, it was specific. It was like, we have video of you masturbating to young girls, underage girl, or whatever it was. And I was like, listen, this is why I know you're full of shit. I only watch old women on my YouPorn or Pornhub. That's all I do. So not old, but like I like mature. I like mature women.
B. Arthur, like
no, more like a Susan Sarandon, like that kind of.
Oh, milfy. So
milfy.
You go milf.
Yeah. I want like the big bush, the natural boobs, like just took a pie out of the oven. I'm gonna fuck my son's friend. That kind of chick. That's what I like. Yeah. So I knew this
look
guy
of
didn't
disapproval.
Have shit. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
I expected I'm not angry at you. I'm disappointed.
Right. And I'm so disappointed.
I'm
going to suck your cock. I'm going to teach you a lesson with my pussy. Oh man. So I knew this guy was full of shit because like, dude, you don't even know what I'm into. If he said like, hey, I saw you jerking off to this chick with a gray muff, I would be a little bit worried. And they always want you to pay in Bitcoin. And I'm like, I don't have time for this. I'd rather you do email it to everyone in my contact list than have me figure out Bitcoin. I'd rather you ruin my life. Yeah. So let's let everyone sit with that for a second.
Yes, Susan Sarandon.
Pretty good, right? In her heyday.
Oh yeah. Oh totally. She had a long heyday too.
I would still probably have an evening with Susan Sarandon.
Really?
I think so. Who is your favorite girl?
What would be your
time?
age limit? Like if she was like, I don't know, as hot as you can imagine her, but she was insert age here, it's like 65.
60,
you're
60.
65? Really?
60 would have to be or maybe like 59.
Okay.
I don't think I could, after 60, you're kind of playing with fire a little bit, You might. It's super dry, probably. You could hurt her. I just don't want any of that. I don't know. What about you? What's your cutoff for your hottest chick?
Oh God, I don't know.
Like we're gonna be banging 65-year-olds at some point.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm married, so I'm in for the long haul. So, we'll see how it goes. But it's hard to say because, I would say that in general, that bullshit saying, it's like, 40 is the new 20 and the 60 is the new 30, all that bullshit. But, as far as like women go, and I think like guys too, like look at Brad Pitt, and dude looks fucking good. Yeah. And a lot of older women are just like absolutely beautiful, keeping it together. So I don't know what the age would be. I think I would probably start feeling weird if it was like 60 something, but that's not too many, years away from me. So
I know. You know who is shockingly still beautiful and I don't understand is Halle Berry has made some kind of deal with the devil or some kind of
Selma
voodoo.
Hayek too.
Yes. Yeah, have I showed you the picture of when Jane's Addiction played Letterman and Salma Hayek was the guest? There was a bunch of paparazzi shots that became all through the tabloids, and it's her in a green dress standing there outside, and behind her is a bunch of Jane's cases, and me and 2 or 3 other crew guys just staring and drooling at her in the background of all these paparazzi pictures. They're really funny. She's stunning. She's stunning.
Yeah, it is true.
I shouldn't have had you on. I should have had Halle Berry and Salma Hayek on this month.
That would have been better. That would have been better. I'm disappointed as a listener. You fucking failure.
I really fucked this up.
You fucking loser.
Damn. So, speaking of old women, have you and your wife watched...
This is just a hot topic.
Kind of. Have you and your wife watched the Night Stalker documentary on Netflix yet?
Oh, funny. We were just talking about that. We just did episode 1 the night before last. And I think that's what the wife is going to be watching while I'm picking a new Cyberpunk character with a horizontal vagina, apparently.
Fuck yeah.
What do you think? Have you seen the whole thing?
Yeah, it's 4 episodes. I watched it all in the last 24 hours. And I really believe that Netflix is giving HBO a run for its money for the best documentaries out there. Netflix is killing it with these 4-part documentaries is so perfect. These, what do they call it? The limited series or whatever it is. Limited series. Love it.
Yeah.
And Netflix makes really vibey documentaries, really good effects and good style. I love that story. And I feel like I knew a lot about serial killers. And this one is really interesting because a lot of us know stuff about Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. But this one is specifically about the cops telling the story of how it unfolded, how prolific he was, how confusing he was, because he didn't have really an MO. He really enjoyed killing old people, but he would also like go into a house and kill the husband and rape the wife and let her live to tell the tale. He would abduct these like little girls and little boys and molest them and let them live, but then he would go to another house and kill somebody. So he was really hard to track.
Super random, just like his pathology. Like, and at least, when we saw the beginning of it, the cop who was saying, I believe this is all one guy. They were like, no, that's not the case. These people tend to have like a single pathology, and they just that's their sweet spot, so to say. But
all detectives,
not this guy.
They've never seen someone who is so random and so just all about the mayhem and the chaos and the fear of it. It's like he didn't really care who he hurt or who he scared as long as he got that reaction. And he's really, really terrifying. But people that listen to the show are always asking for stuff to watch. Watch The Night Stalker on Netflix. It's incredible. And don't let it inspire you to go kill a bunch of people, please. Please.
Disclaimer.
Yeah. Did you ever have the serial killer bug of like
you're
not interested? You don't like
I mean, interested, but there's a little bit of like I don't know. It's a slippery slope. It's interesting, but it's also like I don't think it's the healthiest thing to like glorify it. And no matter what, they're fucking idiots that they're basically famous by doing these acts. And so I'm part of me reaches out to the universe and goes, man, this isn't quite right, but I think, they do some, pretty good work with not glamorizing it. and making it seem like cool. But some of them do. Some of it's just like, whoa, this guy's mysterious and you can be famous too.
They touch onto that in the last episode of I'm not going to give anything away, but they touch onto that, like the fame aspect and the fandom that this shit tends to create. And it is super strange. And it reminds me that, everyone who's listening knows that I have this weird obsession with watching like real life carnage, like watching real death on websites. And I am not proud of it. I'm not completely ashamed of it, but since I was young, I'm always fascinated by seeing the real shit. And the other night, so my I hate saying this, my favorite gore website closed down a few weeks ago.
I'm sorry, I know. Dan.
Me too, buddy. It'd been around for 10, 15 years.
2020. Am I right?
Dude, another one bites the dust. This year can really go fuck itself. I'm
First
so happy.
Kobe and then frigging explodedskulls.com.
How am I supposed to live? It was bestgore.com. Rest in peace.
Rest in power.
Good pun. And I found a new one. And the other night, someone made like, I hate myself kind of. Someone made a hyper reel of like the worst videos of the week, like top 10 worst things you could find on the internet this week. And I was watching it. And at one point, I did an audible, God damn it, Dan. I said that out loud to myself. And I had a private wish of, I really wish I didn't like this stuff. Like, I was like,
I wish you didn't like that stuff too.
Thank you, dude. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
It means you care for me. So I do know it's coming from a good place. But I literally put my wish into the universe. And I said, if I could like magic 8-ball or voodoo rub something, I would like to take that aspect of myself away, because I do think it has numbed me to some like real life horrors a little bit. I'm still I'm a very empathetic dude, but there's something about like I've watched, I don't know, I've probably seen 30 or 40 like violent decapitations and beheadings. And that's just, the other day I watched this lovely young man in a prison being gang raped by 3 or 4 guys.
Oh, Dan.
Yeah, I only watched that one. I only watched for like 13 minutes and I had to shut it off. No, it was a quick one. And that's actually one that I actually had to move past. It was part of that hyper reel. I don't know why I'm talking, dude. I should probably change the subject, right?
Hey, wait, real quick. Wait, sorry. Are you kind of slow down? You're like, are you getting that too?
You pause for a second, but I think we're good now.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
because I'm seeing you every once in a while. You were kind of going like in the last thing a bit.
Okay, that's fine, because I hope that no one heard what I was saying.
Okay.
So we can easily move along here. I do want to welcome a new Patreon supporter, Uncle Creepy. Thank you very much. Long time.
Uncle Creepy. Yeah.
Uncle Creepy
from the Panic.
Yes, long time Panic Channel fan, Jane's Addiction guy, Dark Matter family, Rare Form family. And he's actually part of our crew now. He helps me with some editing and pulling clips. So anytime you see a clip that's posted on Instagram, that's come from Uncle Creepy. And even though he's part of the team, he signed up for Patreon to get the extra stuff. So thank you very much, Uncle Creepy. Appreciate that.
You're going to charge him? You're a jerk.
Well, I didn't ask him to do it. And also, Patreon, I know if you're listening, Patreon, you need to find a way to let creators give away memberships. You can't gift.
They don't.
You can't gift someone.
That's weird.
You should be able to have like 5 free to give to like crew or to team members or something.
Yeah, totally.
Or to give away as prizes or something. But they don't do it yet. I talked to someone at Patreon. I asked them about it, and they said that it's something that they've been asked for a lot. They're working on it, considering it. But thank you, Uncle Creepy. If anybody else wants to come on and join our Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/rareformradio. Just listen to the bumper. We'll play it right here. Frank, play the bumper.
Enjoying the podcast? If you'd like to show support for Rareform, there are a couple of ways. Become a patron at patreon.com/rareformradio. Make a one-time donation or choose from a few subscription levels paid monthly for extra benefits. Those extra benefits include bonus episodes not available to the public, exclusive live streams, more interactions with the gang, along with other special perks that will change over time. Choose your level of donation and know that your contributions go to keeping the show running and growing, paying crews behind the scenes, and just supporting independent artists. That's patreon.com/rareformradio. You can also get Rareform merch by going to rareformradio.threadless.com. T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, all kinds of silly shit. We're constantly adding new things and limited time only goodies. That's rareformradio.threadless.com. You can also help build the show by subscribing, leaving a review, and most importantly, leaving us a rating on iTunes and Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Lastly, follow the show on Twitter and Instagram by searching @Rareform Radio. Thanks for supporting independent entertainment.
Okay, we're back. There's your Patreon ad. You mentioned the Pant Channel a second ago, and we have a couple questions about that, if you don't mind, Mr. Isaacs.
Yes, indeed.
You have reached the voicemail box of
Rare Form Radio.
Please leave a message after the tone.
Matt writes in, here's my first question for Steve. Steve, I can't imagine, Steve, I can't begin to tell you how much One from the Panic Channel has meant to me in my life and the inspiration that it's given me as a songwriter. Thank you so much. I'm wondering if you could talk a bit about your experience writing those songs and what sticks out in your mind writing and recording with the band, and please keep making and releasing music in the future.
Oh, that's super nice. What was his name?
Matt.
Hey, Matt. That means a lot. I really do appreciate that. Geez, I don't know. Memories of, that's a big, broad question. It was an amazing time of being in a band with my literal music idols. You know, Dave and Steven were, Jane's Addiction was such a huge part of my musical development, and getting to play with them was just insane. And I just constantly couldn't believe I was playing with them. I was always the whole pinching myself, like, oh my God, we're like recording demos, or we just rented a rehearsal space in the Valley and we rehearsed 3 times a week, like a regular band. It was so crazy. And nobody acted like rock stars or anything. I think I was so lucky to meet them at a time when they wanted to feel like, I guess, like they did when they were kids, playing in garages and getting excited for a show and making logos and coming up with what's the t-shirt going to look like. All those steps of making a band, they were 100% zero rock star vibe, attitude, or atmosphere at all. That really shocked me. I don't know. We had a lot of fun. I don't know. Were you there when we took pictures of our buttholes? Do you remember that part?
No, but we have sort of referenced on Dark Matter, I think, this butthole hidden in the album stuff. So,
oh, is there? Oh, I would know. I don't think so.
Yes. Oh, yes. Your album artwork. All of your assholes are hidden in the album art.
I think Dave made that up or something. I like art directed that with the illustrator guy. Like, I would have known and I would have been proud of it, but I don't believe it's true.
I feel very confident in this. No?
No, I don't think so. I hid it in some stuff online that we did because for whatever reason, okay, we were at Jim Henson Studios, I think, and we were recording with Brian Virtue, and this was the first version of the album before Andy Slater, who's a giant record company piece of shit who runs Capitol. Once we actually had a full record deal, he made us go and re-record the whole album. May that guy get all kinds of venereal diseases on every part of his body. That guy's one of the cheesiest fucks I've ever met in my life. Anyway, this is before that.
He broke my heart. I'll tell you that story later.
He did?
Oh, yeah.
God, that guy. I really have zero. That guy's a fucking cheese bag. No, we were just hanging around and we were having fun. And at that point, Dave was sober, I was sober, and Chris and Stephen Perkins, they just, Stephen Perkins smokes pot, Chris Chaney smokes pot, but it wasn't we weren't like a party band. Like me and Dave were sober all the time. So we would kind of do shit just that kept us entertained. And I don't know how it came up in conversation. It's like, oh, why don't you take a picture of my butthole? And it was like, and I think it was probably Dave first. He's like, yeah, cool. Take a picture of mine first. He's like, oh, I volunteer. And so we just did this thing where we took a picture of each guy's butthole super close up. So close up, you just wouldn't know what it is. You just, it's organic. Is it like, is it a pice of fruit that's
like macro lens style butthole shots?
Yeah.
Like, is this a tardigrade or is this a vanilla bean? What the fuck is this?
Yeah. So we did that. That was a blast. I don't know if that's the kind of anecdote Matt was looking for.
No, he wanted to know. I think he wanted to know like the songwriting process. So I guess I want to add to it. Did you bring in any full songs? Was it all collaborative in the studio? Did Dave bring in, like, how did that work? How did the songs come together?
It was both, because I'm a songwriter, but I come from a way like poppier kind of like, when you're a songwriter, at least me, like I would write on the acoustic guitar and you have to figure out all the parts. You know what I mean? Like I'm not playing the verse thinking there's going to be a fucking sick guitar part under this, or like here's where the big riff comes in, because I'm playing like D minor and then G. I'm trying to get the melody to hang over top, and then I'm trying to get into a lyrical space that it becomes a song. I go, oh, there we go, it's a song.
You're making a bed. You're making a bare bones bed just to kind of get the idea together. Okay,
right. And I'm not like a great guitar player. I mean, I can play, but I'm not like riff guy. So I would be like, I'm gonna put this in my home studio and I'm gonna fucking shred out all these different parts. It's just not my thing. I'm just and so I would have all kinds of song ideas and lyrics and melodies ready to go on like cassette tapes, and then they would just plug in at rehearsal and just come up with fucking amazing riffs all the time, like all day long. It's just like, and so I would just record little bits of what they were doing. I would bring stuff to the rehearsal studio, or, somebody would be playing something like, oh, could you play that again? Could you loop that a bit? I'm going to I think get a melody on top of it and then record it and either take it home and finish it, or we just finished it there in the studio. But what was kind of rad about the band is that there are multiple ways of going about it, and a couple of the songs I had, I pretty much brought like Listen off the record, Why Cry. There's a few other ones, Blue Bruises. There's songs that I just like had ready to go that I just, brought in. But then there was tons and tons of collaboration. My favorite stuff is the stuff that was truly collaborative, that I didn't bring in as a relatively set song.
Was Night One of those? Because that's like that was like kind of like your guys' stairway. Like it had so many different parts and did some weird fucking shit. Was Night One of those real collaborative ones?
That was super collaborative, and that's I'm gonna go to my grave with that being one of my regrets. Was we were having such a great time writing the music and becoming an actual band, and we had this song that was really vibey, and I started writing this idea around, let's, I think it should be like a ghost story, and it's a ghost story about some kids who use the Ouija board to speak to a dead relative, this Uncle Elijah character, and surprise, he comes back and he actually appears, and it starts this whole story. I love song cycles and rock operas. I just really love when a band is so beautifully arrogant that they're like, fuck it, this is gonna be a double album and it's gonna run together and it's gonna make a whole story. I love that stuff. So Night One off the album it's actually track in my mind, it's like track 6 or 7 in an album. And so away from the guys, once we weren't rehearsing or anything, I wrote I have 8 of what I was imagining was gonna be 13 songs, all written. So I have the story of the kids, I've got the intro song, I've got, Night One, there's Night Two, which is how the whole thing ends. I have a lot of that all mapped out. And my dream was that Panic Channel did the one album, and then we would get to make another album, and it would be Planchette. And at that point, Night One would kind of reappear in the middle, but it would be maybe different. It would be like shorter, like an orchestral version or something. But that was something I worked a lot on the Planchette stuff. So on the album, it says Night One from Planchette. Like that wasn't just words. I wrote a whole bunch of stuff around that.
I knew that Night One was part of Planchette, but I don't think I knew that you had songs, that you had other songs to go with it.
Yeah.
Do you have demos of those anywhere?
I've got them. They're not demos because you know what's weird, Dan? I'm like consider myself tech guy. Like I love computers. I've always done graphics and built websites and all this shit, and helped relatives figure out how to copy and paste and insert pictures and emails. Tech guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been good at home recording. I get so fucking angry so fast because I've got like I've in my life I've had like anger problems where I just like lose shit and I just destroy everything.
Oh yeah.
Which has gotten way better with age, but I used to spend a lot of time just destroying things. And for some reason, trying to be creative and play a song and also get into computer tech world and move things around and then re-record, it in between songwriting world and tech world is this white hot column of liquid lava anger.
Yeah.
And it just goes, and I'm like, fuck everything. And I lose it. So I've just never made good demos. A long story, but so I just have me singing into a like recorder, just trying to play the songs through,
God damn it, man. I want you guys to finish that shit. I would love for you guys to find a way to finish that. I don't know if it leads to a tour or not, but God damn. It was such a great band. It was such a fun time. And knowing you well, and I was a huge fan of your band before that called Sky Cycle. When I first moved here, you guys were playing a lot. I saw probably 10 or 15 shows with Sky Cycle. Great band. Check it out. Is that on Spotify? No, it is on Spotify because I listened not too long ago. And Panic Channel, there's so much Steve Isaacson there. You know what I mean? Like it is so, I feel like it's exactly what you hoped it would be. You have these incredible musicians behind you. The music sounds nothing like Jane's Addiction, but you definitely hear Navarro-isms. You definitely hear Steve Perkins-isms. And Chaney is just a goddamn bass machine. And it was the perfect place for you to play and explore and have fun. I hope you're proud of it because it was really loved by a lot by people. Good record.
That. Thanks.
And I feel like you guys, it may have just been a tad too early. You know what I mean? Because like that kind of music seems like it kind of got more popular like a few years later, where you might have just missed the window, whatever the fuck it was. When you first joined that band and getting in a room with those guys, you kind of touched on that they were kind of your heroes. What was going on in your head personally, where I imagine you knew that there was going to be comparisons to Jane's Addiction. You were going to be compared to Perry, who's someone that you were a fan of. What was that like? And did anything ever really get you down with those kind of comparisons, or did anything really lift you up? Like what was it like falling into those shoes?
Yeah, that was a position I never wanted to be in, and I was never comfortable with it. And it was like I was, if there was some way I could have had that experience and not had that, because it's like Jane's Addiction fans did not want to hear the music we were making. It was like, fuck no. And there's some angry ass Jane's Addiction fans who just, frankly, I would probably be like they were. I'd be like, fuck this guy. And why aren't they playing with that other guy? And go make the music that I like. This is bullshit. I probably would have been, because I'm super opinionated and I think everything I think is right. But there was no way I could look that experience as anything but just an incredible blessing from the creative universe, where my last band before that, Sky Cycle, I killed myself to make that band. Like we rehearsed all the time. I made all the flyers. I pasted them up in the middle of the night with our manager, Gary. And, we got in the van and tour. I mean, you have no idea how much work it takes to be in a band if you're not in a band. We got a record deal. We recorded the album, and then we start waiting and nothing's happening. And then they dropped us frigging 2 months before the album was going to come out. It was printed up. And to have 5 years of your life and songs that you'd written, you know, like all the work going to music school and playing different bands. And then you finally get playing this band. And for 5 years you do it. And then they drop you right before the album comes out when it's printed up. That's pretty painful. So when, you know, Dave and Chris and Steven out of the blue want to kind of like, hey, let's keep playing. Let's play some music. Let's, see what this turns into. Oh, let's be a band. It felt like the universe was reaching around. It was a reach around from the universe being like, okay, man, you get to enjoy some of the stuff that didn't quite get to happen. You know, we got to put out an album and we toured and we, made a video. And like, I feel like I got really lucky.
Yeah.
It was such a blast.
Your original
music.
Oh, it's fucking great, man. The month or so ago, the wife and I went for like a weekend trip up into the mountains somewhere. And on the ride home, I was like, I want to listen to Panic Channel. She came to the show that we played in Boston in like 2005 or 6, way before she was like my girlfriend or wife, and listened to it. And I tried to put it on and listen as if I hadn't heard it before, which is hard to do, but sometimes you can kind of like try to listen with fresh ears. I hadn't listened to it in years as a whole. I'd listened to songs here and there, but it's so fucking good. And the chorus for Tea House of the Spirits with that, it gives me goosebumps so much.
Thanks, Dan.
But you guys gave me some really great memories too. And one thing that was really, really fun to do on that tour is we'd be doing a show in Dallas, in Deep Ellum, at some, club there or bar, whatever it was, and had the idea like, guys, we're right by the grassy knoll. Let's go play an acoustic song where JFK was shot, and like you guys did that at the Exorcist stairs in DC.
Yeah, totally. That was so fun.
It was so cool, and it was very egoless, which was so. I mean, surprising for me because it was my first tour, but that's where I met, Perk and Cheney and Dave, and that's forever changed my entire life. You hiring me is the reason why I'm doing this with you right now. You know what I mean? Like you literally hired me, and it changed the entire direction and trajectory of my life. And if it wasn't for you giving me that job, I wouldn't have gotten into touring. I wouldn't have seen the world. I don't know what I'd be doing for a career. I wouldn't be with my wife. I mean, I knew her before, but circumstances that brought me back home is what got us together. Every good thing I have, my baseball bat collection, the instruments in this room, doing Dark Matter with Dave for 10 years plus, now doing this, I can all bring back to you asking me to be your guitar tech. So I would like to thank you very much for that. I mean, really, it changed my entire life, and I've made lifelong friends out of those people, and people that have spidered off. People in the web of touring are lifelong friends, and it's because of you. So thank you, Mr. Isaacs.
You're welcome, Dan. You're welcome, Dan. Yep. Boy, that makes it feel like you really owe me. Like
I do. I'll fucking rusty trombone you tomorrow. I don't care.
I got like a back rub or like,
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'll let you beat me in video games because let me tell you a story. Steve was just talking about his anger, and I want to tell a story. I used to have an apartment in Los Feliz, California with my last girlfriend, and the apartment was on the 3rd story, and I had what was Perfect Dark on? Was that on? What was that? What was Perfect Dark on? What platform?
Perfect Dark was Nintendo 64, wasn't it?
Okay, yeah, I think it was. So Steve and I and
we were playing on Xbox because it was Halo.
Okay, no. Perfect Dark is what sent you over the edge, literally.
I didn't even know where you're going with this. I thought you meant the Halo and throwing the Xbox out the window.
Well, that's what I'm getting to, but I was pretty sure it was Perfect Dark. because I wasn't very great at Halo. Either way, we're playing a game.
You weren't, but you started beating me. I remember.
Okay, so
and I'm like, what's wrong? Dan's all of a sudden great at this game. And I'm like,
Steve brought this console over to my house, and we're playing, and I'm winning, and I usually don't beat Steve. And like consistently for months, he would kick my ass, but I'd still have fun. I get frustrated too. So when I started to win, I was like, this feels really good. And you're like, dude, how the fuck are you beating me? This doesn't make any sense. And I was like, dude, I'm just getting better. Maybe I'm getting lucky, but just today I'm beating you over and over again. And you're getting so fucking angry. And I'm having fun. And then it got to a point, like everyone likes to bust your friend's balls and talk a little bit of shit when you're playing video games.
It's your job when you're playing games. You have to.
But it got so heated and you got so angry that when I'd win, I wouldn't even look at you. I just kind of looked, kind of smile and then look away. And you paused. You said, dude, we're going to play one more. If you beat me, this is the end of this machine. That's it. This thing is going to pay the price. So we're playing. And I remember like it was a good match, back and forth. You almost had me and I won. And as soon as the game is over, I'm silent. I'm nervous. I feel like a wife that's about to get hit for burning the dinner or something. and like it was weird. As soon as I won, your anger went away. Like you're just like, oh, okay, well that's that. And you kind of just put the controller down, kind of sat for a minute, and got up and just very casually and calmly unplugged the machine from the TV, took the cables out, wrapped the cables around the whole box, put the controllers on top, opened my balcony door, and took the entire thing and threw it 3 stories out into the middle of Los Feliz Boulevard, which is a very busy street in California.
Well, didn't it get caught in the tree, didn't it?
The controllers
the trees.
One of the controllers stayed there for months. They was there for months. But the machine smashed all over the street. And you're like, okay, well, that's the end of that. And you got your coat, got your keys, and just walked out. That's the last time. That's the last time we played that game. And
I'm a man of my word.
You are. And it was so funny. Like as soon as it was over, like you just knew. Really, your anger was gone because you knew that you were about to get that release, and you're about.
It was
to
like popping a zit. Yeah,
yep,
it's like
something's going to pay the price, and the good news is Dan will no longer beat me because there's no game to play.
Problem solved.
But I mean, I've heard stories about, you throwing an entire guitar amp in your pool and it would sit there for weeks and smashing
there
radios.
For weeks.
Yeah. Because
that was a nice amp too.
Because you fucked up playing, right? Like you having a tough time playing, or what happened there?
The amp was pissing me off. I had this really nice, I don't even remember what it was, a Fender Twin. But it was from the 70s. I used to have some like nice gear, and I went to like Vintage Place, and I'm like, I got my Marshall cab that's from the 70s and my Fender Twin on top of it for the clean sound. I used to lug both of those stupid amps to gigs, like a Marshall half stack and then a fucking Twin on top of it.
Did you have the red wrapped Marshall? Was that you?
Orange. Yeah, it was orange.
Oh, I remember. That thing was badass. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, but the Twin I kept having problems with it, and it would just drive me crazy. And I'm just like, I just lost my shit one night. And my band, Sky Cycle, we used to rehearse in the garage, and there was a pool right next to the garage. And so I picked it up and I threw the amp in the pool, and it just sat there at the bottom of the pool for a long time until I fished it out. I just like left it there.
Amazing. It's so amazing. And
yeah,
you've also broken laptops. I think I saw you bend a laptop backwards and snap it because it was like a MacBook. I think I saw that happen back in the hut, in the tiki hut. But good stuff back in the day. Good stuff back then. Do you?
It's nice that that's not really a deal anymore. I really don't do that. Thank God.
That's good. I mean, anger. Listen, everybody.
It's really ego. It's really a little boy. Like it's just self-centeredness. It's like I believe it's just like wanting control over your atmosphere. And I also thought it made me, in the back of my mind, I thought it made me like interesting. Like, oh, I'm a songwriter, I'm a singer. I need to like work off of my inspiration at all times. If that means I need to like fucking be an arrogant dick, okay. If it means I need to destroy something, well, that's just part of what it is that's part of the enigma.
I'm an artist, mate.
Wrapped in a mystery
artist.
that is me. Yeah,
Right.
totally. And now I'm just like, you fucking little boy bastard.
Everyone, you got to understand, anger is a young man's game. And eventually you got to let go of it or it's going to give you cancer. So the reason that we're here now and that Steve is cancer free, as far as we know, is he's let go of that anger. And that's an important lesson. Do you have a copy of when you and I recorded the demo of Why Cry?
Oh God, I don't know. Jesus, I must.
I have that.
I probably do.
At that same apartment
really?
where you had your childish outburst, we recorded. It was
you mean appropriate response to the anomaly that is Dan beating me at a first-person shooter.
That's what I meant.
That's the connection was funny.
So Steve had just written the song "Why Cry" that is on Panic Channel 1, which is also, please go to Spotify, Apple Music, Napster, MySpace. It's all on there. And you just written it and you came over and I didn't really know how to produce either, but an acoustic guitar and we kind of got the ideas down with the harmonies. And back then it was called Half-Hearted, I think too.
Well, it was actually a song I'd written completely and I used to do acoustic gigs with it. It was called Half-Hearted. And in my opinion, in my opinion, it was a way better song. That's one of my other like not happy memories about the Panic Channel is like, I fucking don't like Why Cry. And that was our single.
Mm-hmm.
And I entered into a Faustian deal with a record company devil named Howard Benson, producer. And he's like, we need to rethink your song. And I'm like, we've been playing it and it's fucking, I love it. And I thought one of the reasons we're like here is to like, record it and make it the best possible version. He's like, no, you need to change the chorus and you need to repeat this part and not that part. And he was like, you remember Helena, that My Chemical Romance song?
Yeah.
I used to love that song. And this guy did that album. So he was doing just hit after hit after hit. And I was like, I really don't want to change around the song. Like I get if we're going to repeat something twice as opposed to 3 times or whatever, right. But like, I love this song and we've been playing this song this way. And he's like, let me ask you a question. How many hits do you have? And I was like, no, none, dude. And I was all of a sudden like really taken aback, like, because the guys were gone. This was just me and the producer working on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The guys were like we were going to get the song structure kind of together and the guys were going to come in, we're going to put it together. And I had all this respect for this guy. And he's like, how many hits do you have? I'm like, well, none, He's like, I got a lot. Why don't you just do what I say?
Oh,
and I was like, oh shit. And frankly, I was old enough at that point to understand the record business machinations that were working against us, which was Capitol didn't want the band. Andy Slater didn't like me, didn't like the idea of the band. In my opinion, he was really just letting them put out this album so that they could get it out of their system and then get Jane's Addiction back together, which they were under contract for. They still owed Capitol more music. So, I felt through Howard Benson's words, the record company, like forcing him to like squeeze a hit out of this asshole, like find something we can sell to radio. So it came out, and I love pop and everything, but I didn't like what happened to that song at the end. There's parts of it I really like, but we didn't play the single on our tour. Like we all agreed,
oh my
let's
God,
not play it.
You're right. And
a really brilliant move for a band is like the single. Imagine going to see a band and they don't play the single. We never played it live.
We're Oasis. No Wonderwall tonight, everybody.
Yeah, fuck you guys for liking that song. I didn't want to play it. I felt really kind of crummy about acquiescing. And I thought I was doing the right thing. I'm like, this is the right thing for the band. It'll get us in better with Capitol. And all I got to do is take this hit, rewrite this thing, and for a while, I loved the song. For a while, I was like, I like this new version of the song, but I think really kind of kidding myself.
The demo.
And now I listen to it and I like it, but I really wish it wasn't the single. And I wish it hadn't veered so far in that direction. Because it didn't represent the band, and it sucks when a single comes out and you go, that's not really what the band sounds like. Tea House should have been our first song, I thought.
Absolutely. Tea House, Blue Bruises could have easily been. Outsider could have been like the slower single. Had it gone that far, but there's plenty of songs on there that would work for that. Tea House, without question, should have been the one. Do you remember the version that we did, that kind of acoustic demo with your?
Yeah, a bit.
If I find it, do you care if I drop it in here?
No, go for it. Okay. Well, I'd like to hear it first.
Yeah, of course. I'll send it to you. But yeah. So if you're listening to this and you hear the song right now, it means Steve approves. If you don't hear it, it means Steve is incredibly embarrassed.
See that ain't reminding me that I've been lost and finding out that I've been such a fool. I let you lie to me, plant seeds inside to see them grow, only to leave them to die. I learned my lesson, I won't be forgetting, I won't give my heart out without suspecting. Why cry? Why cry? Why cry for you? I've been wondering what you've been doing since you've been gone. Back on the party scene, you're not even missing me. It hurts now to see how I had you figured out all wrong. You thought you'd stick around until the day you found someone to make me obsolete. I learned my lesson, I won't be forgetting, I won't give my heart out without suspecting. Why cry? Why cry? Why cry for you? I learned my lesson, I won't be forgetting, I won't give my heart out without suspecting. Why cry? Why cry? Why cry?
And so what you and I worked on was, I think it was me trying to get his suggestions worked into the song, into a song that I loved and I could get behind. And so I was like, hey man, you want to work on it? Let's, I want to track a little bit. And so that was that stage of it.
And it used to be called Half-Hearted. And who had the realization that it sounded like someone saying, I farted?
Me, not ever until I sang that song for a few years before I met Dave.
Last week we were talking about.
I never thought about that.
Last week we were talking about your acoustic shows, and that song was part of those acoustic shows before the Panic Channel, I think.
Yeah.
And so you don't remember who said it sounds like I farted?
What? It's you? I would assume it's you.
No, it wasn't me because
no one actually did. It wasn't like it came up as one of the reasons to restructure the song.
Oh, I thought it did because I remember the first time you said it to me that it sounds like saying I farted. I was so angry because now that's all I can think of when I hear the acoustic version or the actual. When I hear "Why Cry," I still think of it as half-hearted. And sorry,
who's half? Who's half? Who's this guy half?
It's so good, half-hearted. Man, good times, man. The best times had by all. Let's see. We have a couple more listener questions. We can probably wrap it up. Who's this? What I got here?
Hey, Dan, it's Jackie. One of your biggest fans. Wanted to let you know, really appreciate the show and all the hard work you're doing and looking forward to new episodes.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Jackie. Appreciate those words of encouragement. It helps having
not really
great,
a question
great
at
guests.
all.
No, it's just sometimes I like to play things that make me look good, that are compliments to me for my own self-esteem. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
You know,
did a pussy just walk by here?
I don't know.
Yeah. Here we go.
The cat wants you to go play some Cyberpunk.
For those of you with visual radio, here you go.
Man.
She's going to clean her undercarriage for you.
So you guys may not know this, but when Steve and his wife go on little, weekend jaunts, vacations, it's my job, not my job. Steve asked me to feed his cats.
Here in Venice?
They're in Venice because we live close to each other.
Yeah.
And you guys know how much I hate cats. I've been saying it my whole life. I hate them. I hate everything about them. I hate what they represent. I hate that they're cute. Gross.
How could you hate this? Look at this. God.
So they have two cats, and one of them, not that one. That's not the one that hogs all the food, right? That's the other one.
No. Yeah. Luna. Okay. They have names at this point. You don't know their names?
Do you know I don't know their names? Is that Cosmo? What's that one's name?
Uncle Dan's the worst. I'm sorry.
Wait, Luna and
Papoki.
That's what I was going to say. You took it away from me. I was right there. I was right there. So I feed those cats and I go through their stuff. I steal things that they don't know about. I sniff Steve's boxers. I do all kinds of crazy stuff when I'm in there. Do you know one time you had Alexa there and I tried to order a ton of condoms through Alexa to be sent to your house. And
that's good.
I don't know if it worked. I think I accidentally ordered a bunch of paper towels. Do you guys ever get an order of paper towels that you didn't order through Amazon?
Not that I know of, but that's hilarious.
I tried to order 20 boxes of condoms or something on your guys' Amazon, but it didn't work. But yeah, so those cats I feed, and Steve and I text a lot of jokes about how hard I fucked them. Did I fuck them to death? Mm-hmm. Did I just not feed them so they die so we can stop?
Could you make sure they have a little accident while we're away so that I can come home?
It's fun, and it truly is never not funny.
It's good times.
It's good times had by all.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. One more question for you. Something we haven't plugged yet, dude. You made a goddamn card game in the last few years to add to your resume. You're a game maker now.
This is true.
Steve and his partner made a game called Cinephile. This question is about Cinephile. Before we get to the question, can you explain what Cinephile is and where we can get it?
Cool. My buddy Corey, who I used to work with in New York, in 2017, he said, I've got this idea for a card game. And would you want to do the illustrations for it? Because it's basically like 150 cards, and on every card is an actor. And I want to have an illustration of each actor. And so you basically play kind of 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon in a sense. You got to if you've got Winona Ryder and I've got David Bowie, we got to figure out what movies will connect those actors. And then there's a bunch of other games that you can play with those same cards. So I drew the cards, and then we put it out on Kickstarter, and then Random House, the publisher, reached out after a couple of days, and they're like, would you want to do a deal so that we will put it, out in stores and stuff. And we're like, oh, great. So we did that. And then we made a couple other expansion packs. We had an expansion pack that was all horror movie actors. So it was the Splat pack, and then one all LA based people from LA films called LA Stories. And then I'll show you this. Then we made a book last year called A is for Auteur. I'm holding it up right now. So this is a kid's book, and it's to basically brainwash your kids into knowing about directors. So this is not any shit any kid will actually, I think, really appreciate, except for Corey. He's got 2 kids, and he's like brainwashing them into like they can recite these poems about each director by heart. It's a little scary actually, but I drew all these. So like A is for P.T. Anderson.
I'm willing to bet the next one is not Michael Bay. Okay.
No, B is for Catherine Bigelow, and C is for Coppola.
Fuck yeah.
So this is so you can go to cinephilegame.com and you can buy the game, or you can get it on Amazon. And then on our site, you can get this children's book. And we only printed up, I think, 700 or something. So it's kind of a limited shim sham.
And behind you on the wall, I see Mr. Alfred Hitchcock. I see David Lynch, and I see Kubrick. Is that right back there?
Yes.
Very,
so I
very
take
nice.
my favorite stuff that I illustrate for the game, and then I put it in my haunted water park store. So these are like canvas prints. They're actually really nice, and you can get them at my store. I'm just about to put in P.T. Anderson, Spike Lee, and Martin Scorsese.
Hell yeah, dude. So the question we have for you comes in from Richard. Richard says, here's a question. I bought Steve's Cinephile game last year and was wondering if there are any plans for further expansions. Thank you for the game.
Yes, well, there's the 2. There's the Splat Pack and the LA Stories. There's no plans at the moment. We're going to talk. To be honest, I'm not sure how much time I have to do the game anymore, because I run my store and I've been working lately at this games company. And so I'm not quite sure how much Cinephile there is for me in the future. We'll see.
It is a fun game though. I've been to a couple game nights with you guys and like barbecue hangouts, and we play it, and it is fun. You have to know a little bit about TV, films, actors, but it gets your brain going, and it's fun to find those connections between actors from different films. So good job on that. You do a lot of stuff.
Thanks. Appreciate it, Danny.
You have energy for many things and many talents, and I appreciate all of them so much.
Thanks, Dan.
Let's wrap this thing up. Oh, last week there was a weird story about Tanya Roberts, who was famous for being in that 70s show. I know her from a movie when I was a kid that I loved called Beastmaster, which...
Oh, I remember Beastmaster. Dude, she was in that? Oh, I didn't know.
She was the girl. She was like she was like the hot flame of the dude's name, Mark Singer. Is that his name? She was
so pretty. Yeah, Mark Singer. Dude. She was so pretty in the day.
Beastmaster is a movie about a dude in a loincloth played by Mark Singer, and he has two pets, 2 ferrets named Podo and Kodo. I know that because I had a ferret when I was in high school, and we named it Podo after Beastmaster. So in that movie was an actress named Tanya Roberts. She was really famous for she played Midge on that 70s show. And a couple of weeks ago, there was a story that she died, that she died of some weird disease.
Rest in power.
Right. Again, rest in power, lady. And then her publicist came out and said, guys, no. She's not dead. Like she's fine. She had a medical scare, but she is very much alive. The next day, the publicist said, actually, everybody, I was wrong. She is dead. The publicist had
worst publicist ever.
The worst. And I believe that when the publicist made the correction that she was alive, she was dead. I think. Like, it wasn't like, no, she's alive and then she died. When the correction was made, she was already dead.
How the hell did that happen?
You double check it just to be sure. Just to be sure. But man, that's got to be a real trip for the family. So sorry to the Roberts family and to the family of that publicist, you fucking idiot. God damn. But I think that might be it. What else we got here?
All right.
Is that it? we talked about Haunted Water Park, your t-shirt company. We talked about Cinephile. You can follow Steve Isaacs at Steve Isaacs everywhere. You can follow at Haunted Water Park, at Cinephile Game. Is that what it's called on the social media stuff?
Yeah, at Cinephile Game.
And available, Amazon has everything. So you can order 20 boxes of condoms, paper towels, and Cinephile if you want to. But Steve, I want to thank you for everything. This has been an awesome month. It's easy to talk to you. You have a lot of great stories, and people enjoyed it. So thank you very much for joining.
Super fun, Dan. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Any parting words, any shots you want to take at me, any compliments you want to bestow upon me or anything like that?
You get more handsome as you get older.
God, dude.
The salt and pepper, I'm loving it.
Let's end on that.
You're keeping fit. You're keeping trim. It's
walking.
Nice.
I've been walking every day for the last 10 months, 2 miles a day for the last 10 months.
Woo, look at you.
But I am, this machine that you're looking at, this machine that you are gazing upon, that you listeners are looking at and listening to, is completely fueled by Monster energy drink. Like all day, every day, drinking Monsters. I sprinkle in a little bit of water. The other day, my diet consisted of an ice blended from Coffee Bean, and then a Monster iced tea, and then a big chocolate chip cookie. And then I had Dave's hot chicken, which is like really spicy chicken, and French fries for dinner. And then I had another chocolate chip cookie, a big one. I had one of these blue Monsters, and then I had a pint and a half of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. That was my day.
You're not going to have to worry about me wanting to take a picture of your butthole.
No,
I have a feeling there's a ring of fire situation. That I thought you gave up sweets like during the week and like.
There's been times.
You look okay for eating so horribly.
There's been times maybe I gave myself some. Maybe I accidentally ate like 20 tapeworms. I don't know what's going on, but I do have the diet. Like if a 6-year-old could have like a dream diet, that's what I live. I'm a 41-year-old, 6-year-old diet guy.
Congratulations, Dan.
And I really
you won.
I walk solely so I can justify the way I eat. That's it. That's
Fair
it.
enough.
And I'm not going to feel bad about it, Steve. No matter how hard you try, I'm not going to apologize. But listen, go play your PS5. Congratulations. Thank you for joining me for the month of January. Thank you for the listeners for sending in all the questions. Thank you so much to our Patreon folks for supporting the show and me and everything. Episode 80 has been a blast. I'm liking these residencies. I think people are liking them as well. As of the recording of this, I don't know who's going to do February, but we'll figure it out. What else we got? That's it, I think. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Steve. I love you, buddy. I look forward to playing online.
Love you too, bro.
Good luck with the games, and we will see everybody next week. Reminder that tomorrow is just the future's yesterday. Bye, everyone.
This is Lola, and I'm here to tell the world to stop being such pussies and listen to Rare Form Radio.